Shalom, 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 Yasha Allah. This your boy, Brother Shamwa Allah, back at you with another quick, edifying video. Today's lesson, it's just a quick one, right? You don't need the Israelite woman to bring back the nation, right? You don't need the Israelite woman to bring back the nation. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days of mighty Shalom. Another mighty Shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty Shalom to you all as well. All right. Like I said, today's lesson is going to be called, You Don't Need the Israelite Woman to Bring Back the Nation. All right. And I was, doing my little Watchmen. I was watching Cross the Line radio, and I was going to do another lesson. But as I was sitting here listening, I believe his name is Karataza from the ISUPK. He says this, right? And I just want to just touch base on it just real quick. All right, so let me play it.
And then I'm gonna tell you something, you know what I'm saying, that's extremely serious, brother. Number one, we not dealing with no other nations over here, right? Listen, if you want to fuck white women, you, excuse my language, you can go to a group called GMS. You get what I'm saying? You want to deal with Africa?
So he said, if you want to mess with white women, you go to GMS. All right, let me just keep playing.
Women, go to IUIC. You get what I'm saying? If white women, and then I'm gonna tell you something, you know what I'm saying, that's extremely serious, brother. Number one, we not dealing with no other nations over here, right? Listen, if you want to fuck white women, you, excuse my language, you can go to a group called GMS. You get what I'm saying? You want to deal with African women, go to IUIC. You get what I'm saying? If you want to get pegged in your ass by your woman, you can go to Sakari. That's where you can go. They like getting bent over. That's what they do. It's a fact. That's what they chief priests do. You know what I'm saying? He getting popped in his ass. All right. Now,
all right. So I will leave it at that, right? But I wanted to touch on the subject where he was, he says, if you want to deal with white women, then you go to GMS. Listen, we don't need the Israelite woman, right, to bring back the nation. All right. And you have a lot of these camps, and I remember just even when I first learned it, you're thinking, oh man, you got to deal with the, the so-called black woman and this, that, and the other, but as you see, and I'm not saying everyone, but most of these women are wicked, man, right? Elder Apostle Tahar calls them hyenas, and he says, stay away from the hyenas. All right? Stay away from the hyenas. Why? Because, hey, they have these curses upon them just as we do, right? And they're bugged out. All right? And guess what? We don't need the Israelite woman to bring back the nation. Okay? We don't need the Israelite woman to bring back the nation. All right? Let's just do a quick little thing real quick. Salakia. Right? I mean, it's a simple thing, right? Who carries the seed, right? If an Israelite man sleeps with any other nation of women, that baby is going to be an Israelite. We know that, point blank. Okay, we could bring back the Israelite women through these other nations. All right, point blank, period. Because the man carries the seed. All right, so they have a problem with that, right? Let's get this real quick. This is Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18, right? This is simple. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. Why? Because their father is the one that carries the seed. All right? That carries the seed. All right. It says, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. Okay. So the man carries the seed. Okay. So guess what? You don't need the Israelite woman, right, to keep the nation going. All you need is an Israelite man, right? And you could have any nation of woman, and you have a baby with them. Guess what? That baby is gonna be an Israelite, because you are who your father is. Okay, right? And we know right now, hey, these women, right? Like Elder Apostle Tar said, hey, they're like hyenas, man. They're hyenas. Okay. And I'm not saying all, right? So you women who are in order, call out Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. But this is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse number 56. It says, the tender and delicate woman, right, the Israelite woman, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tender-eyedness, her eye shall be evil towards her husband, and toward her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Okay, so these curses are upon our women. Okay, and what do you see? They've lost their mind here in Babylon. Why? Because they've been given all this power here in America, right? What is that? Jeremiah, is it 31? And yep, 22. It says, how long will thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Right? And right now it's out of order. Right? Our women are out of order. Right? You see the women of these other nations, right? They're still in order. And it was crazy. Like, even before I came into, the ministry, I would see, hey, the Indian woman, and she walking behind her man. Right? I used to see the Japanese woman when I was in California, a Chinese woman. Guess what? They stay riding in the back seat. They're not riding up front. Right? They were in order. They're in order. Our people are out of order. Our women are out of order. Right? Especially the Negro woman. Okay? And that's why Elder Apostle Tahar says, stay away from the hyenas. Okay? Stay away from the hyenas. And this is the thing. You carry the seed. So whatever you put your seed in of that woman for whatever nation, that baby's going to be an Israelite. All right. And he said one more thing. He said, he was saying that, if I misquoted, but he was basically saying something like, Solomon went off for sleeping with the women of the other nations. No, he went off because he started following the gods of the other nation, of these nations, of these women. Okay, let's get that real quick. All right, First Kings, Salakia. First Kings 11 and verse number 4. Let's just get to the point. It says, for it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with Yahawah and Yahawah his power, as was the heart of David his father. Okay, so he went off because he started to follow the gods of these other women. It wasn't because he slept with these women, right? That had nothing to do with it, right? He carries the seed. If he had that whatever seed, guess what? Whatever he planted, hey, that's gonna be an Israelite at the end of the day. Right? It's that simple. Okay? And right now our women are so out of order. They have, that control spirit. Why? Because they're not in the right order, right? You have a lot of these women who got that masculine, kind of what's the word I'm trying to say? But they have just that masculine kind of tone to them. You know what I mean? And it's just real turn offish, man. And like I say, I'm not saying all the Israelite women, right? Because there are some who are in order, right? Who are obedient. But a lot of you, hey, you know, it's a way, right? That's why Elder Apostle Tahar said, you deal with these other women, said go get you a snow bunny, at the end of the day. Because guess what, at the end of the day, if you have a baby, hey, that's still going to be an Israelite, right? Because you carry that seed at the end of the day. All right. So, I just wanted to touch that point, what he said about, IUICA, it is what it is. What he said about, Sakari, it's in the pudding, right? So, but I just wanted to touch bases on that, right? Hey, there's nothing wrong with it, right? You can get you a woman from these other nations, right? And all you gotta do, you can see these women of these other nations and how they are, because we're the ones that are out of order. Our people are the ones that are out of order. All right, and Jake, just even in the world, dealing with Eve and her attitude, right? And you see how it is. All right, and guess what? We don't need the Israelite woman to bring back the nation. Okay, because guess what? We can bring the nation back through any woman, right, with our seed as Israelite men. All right, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? The so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American men, right? And you, the diaspora, right? Hey, you can bring back the nation of women through your seed. Okay? All right, so I just wanted to do this, quick little lesson. I was going to do a whole nother lesson, on scoffers, but then, you had your boy, kind of throw that out there. But hey, it is what it is, right? You mean you don't like it, then it is what it is. All right. So I just wanted to, like I say, do this quick lesson. Lord's will, this was edifying, right? With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash, peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the 144,000 men and to the rest of the elect, right? Stay diligent, stay focused, right? Keep praying for one another, right? Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom, right? And also, hey, stay away from the hyenas, stay away from them. All right, shalom.